Hello, good evening, and welcome to the North Bank Summit. Even this is going to be a bumpy ride, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on tight. Here we go. My name is Jonathan Brooks. If you don't know, Gooner, Brooksy, I've been called all sorts. And as it's before 9 o'clock, I can't repeat most of them. But thank you very much for taking your time out on this, well, rather miserable, rainy evening down here in Kent. I don't know what the weather's like in other parts of the world, but we will get to that in a minute. Let me introduce you to Jonesy. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good mate. I had to be here. Had to be here for your debut as host. Couldn't miss it.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I've only known about it for like 8 hours.
We've had no warnings yet, so you're all right, mate.
Yep. The only way is up. Lovely. And we have I believe, two debutants tonight, which is very exciting. We have Brett all the way from Arkansas. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure.
I'm the token Yank for this evening. Glad to be here for your debut as well.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for coming on. And Ian, all the way from Dublin. How you doing, mate?
All good, my man. Thanks very much for having me as well. And the best of luck on your hosting debut as well. I was on a pod with Paul last week, but yeah, looking forward to this tonight.
Yeah, good man. Right. Well, we might as well talk about the Saturday night football. We had Newcastle United at 5:30. No, we didn't. I'll say 5:30. Oh, mate. 8 o'clock. I mean, I was falling asleep. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if you two know, but I'm a postman, so I'm used to early starts. And it was late. It was up Saturday. Come on. And it was well worth the wait, wasn't it? You know, we struggled at home against them last year. They put everyone behind the ball. I even did a joke. I said, they'll put everyone behind the ball, but we'll win 5-1. I was almost correct.
Yeah.
It's a superb performance. I thought, you could have picked about 5 or 6 man the matches, in my opinion. I think Jorginho probably did shade it. But, we're just absolutely flying at the moment. We've hit form, I would say, at the right time. I think we're absolutely flying. You know, the players are coming back. We'll talk about that later. Players coming back like Timber and that party. It's a very exciting time to be an Arsenal fan, and we're bang up for it, I would say. What do you think, Jonesy?
Yeah, no, it was. I started drinking from about 12 o'clock. So,
mate, I've seen some of the pictures. Yeah, Liam, cracking up, mate. It's annoying because I could have had a ticket. My mum's cousin, who has season tickets, he's absolutely loaded. I don't know if I should say that on here, but yeah, one of his daughters has had a baby, and the babysitter pulled out, and I would have come, but the train's all up.
Yeah,
they're all knackered, and poor Liam struggled. I wouldn't have got home, so I was like, you know what? I'll just stay home and watch it.
Yeah,
I didn't have the carnage.
I didn't have excuse. I live 5 minutes down the road, but
I know you've got a right
at 4 a.m. So it was about trying to explain that one. I told her the trains were good, but she didn't believe it. So
Liam did go to about 8 o'clock. So
yeah, casino man. He was winning away, I think it was. But yeah, no, it was a good atmosphere, good game.
It sounded great on the telly. It's just bouncing. It was
the atmosphere at the beginning. The ground was the fireworks, the light show, the flags.
We do put on a good show.
Yeah, but we didn't get much off of Newcastle. Like the fans were pretty flat. I think they would come in and they knew they were going to be up against it. But sometimes to keep the atmosphere going, you need a bit of back and forth between the away fans. I feel we didn't get that, and that's why it did dwindle off a bit towards the end of the half and the second half. But yeah, it was a great game and great evening all round.
So I guess Brett, what time's kickoff was it in America then?
Well, it was 2 o'clock. It was a 2 o'clock afternoon kickoff.
Oh, so, lovely! That was ideal.
So someone that is used to getting up at like 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning sometimes.
That's brilliant dedication.
It was hard to keep busy, keep my mind off the match, because from the final whistle back in November, I think it was. I think thousands of Gooners had this fixture on their calendar, and it just felt like we were just primed for an absolute terrific match, and boy did they deliver. It was you could tell. I mean, just from thousands of miles away, you could tell that the atmosphere was absolutely different. It was something special. I hope they. I hope that they bring the fire back. I hope they bring the flags back for these special matches. The ones that need that little extra something. And I think that under the lights, it just absolutely does an amazing job.
I mean, I presume they'll do that for the Porto game. I would have thought. I think it's amazing if they didn't. But yeah, I mean, if we would do similar to that, we're laughing. Yeah. How about yourself, Ian? Did you watch it at home? Did you go out?
I did watch it at home. Yeah, I am a season ticket holder, and I'm absolutely fuming that I didn't go over to it. I actually are. As Brett says, when the final whistle went in the away game, I actually tweeted saying that, and the irony of this is hilarious. I tweeted saying that I don't care if it's one of my kids' birthdays when we play Newcastle at home. I'm going to make sure I'm there. Now, I didn't know what date it was on. I didn't know when it was on, and it actually was on my daughter's birthday. Yeah.
That's amazing.
You couldn't make it up, but that's what happens. And so I had lots planned with her, but I did watch it on TV, and it was just electric. All the ghosts of St. James's Park were laid to rest, and then some. And I'm raging. I missed out on the fireworks and the atmosphere. The guy who sits beside me texted me on the day. He said that it's probably the top 3 atmospheres of a game that he's ever been at. And
oh wow,
yeah. That didn't make me feel any better for missing out on it, but
rubbing it in a bit more.
Yeah, but it was it was special. Like, and you knew from the very first moment, as soon as we kicked off with the intensity and the pressing, our boys wanted this big time, and they delivered. So yeah, it was brilliant.
Martin Odegaard was a man possessed. I thought it was absolutely superb. Yeah. You could tell.
He really was.
I don't know if they put something in the dressing room beforehand and wound them up, but they were all so up for it. I mean, Odegaard just running around, he was geeing people up. It was brilliant. I mean, yeah, they didn't know what to do, Newcastle. I mean, 4-1 flattered them in a way, really. But I think,
did.
I definitely think they had that in the back of their mind after getting stitched up there, which was good to see. In your mind, Jonesy, would you say Jorginho was your man of the match?
Yeah, I would, I mean, we got the lineup there. I was glad to see him starting, to be fair. When he plays at the moment for Arsenal, he just looks like the player that, when Chelsea first signed him and the player was winning Euro championships with Chelsea and Champions Leagues. I heard today that, there's rumours of us giving him a contract.
Yeah, I see that.
So do it. He's got the experience, he wants
a no-brainer.
He wants to do coaching badges and stuff like that. And I don't think there's no better place to learn enough of Arteta and around this young group of players. But yeah, he's a calming influence in that midfield, and the guy who we've hardly seen all year, Partey, is rumoured to be back in and around the squad. For me, he doesn't come back in. I think Jorginho, if he can stay fit and healthy, I think he stays in that squad just because of his calming presence. And he knows how to win and get over the line. But yeah, brilliant. He definitely deserved man of the match.
It's great to see him as well. We've got such a settled team spirit. It's so high at the moment. Everyone's come in. I mean, there was a couple of rumours the other day. I don't know if you see about that Mudryk, and apparently, he could be linked with us in the summer of a cut price, and he was devastated he didn't come. And a few Arsenal, I would say 50-50. I mean, I would say yes. I mean, only basing this on the fact that Havertz and Jorginho, from Chelsea, have just settled so well. And there's no reason why he couldn't do that, with us. I think with Zinchenko there as well. But I just think, people like Saka and Rice, everyone's just absolutely bouncing at the moment. I can't imagine there's many players just looking at our Arsenal team and thinking, I'd love to be part of that. I know there's certain idiots in the press. Rio Ferdinand, I'm talking about you, making up little rumours, and it's a shame I can't swear, isn't it? But, because everyone's just trying to, have little nibbles, I mean, why he's got to get involved and make up lies, I don't know.
Was you guys, was there that lineup there, was there any changes you would have made, or is that your strongest lineup you guys would have gone with?
For me, anyway, I think so. I think we may have made the mistake in Porto of not playing Jorginho. I know that's kind of been widely spoken, but I think it was the perfect game to bring him in. Now, maybe it could have been a case that Jorginho, because he has had a few niggles, that maybe he wasn't fit enough to play both games. But you can't argue, considering the results we've had recently. The rest of the team all played in those, and I just think it was right to bring Jorginho in. Leo wasn't great against Porto, and maybe a bit harsh considering what he brought to the other Premier League games. But I think it was the right decision to take him out just for a little while. He did come on, of course, and yeah, so I've no complaints whatsoever with that lineup. It worked very well.
I absolutely agree as well. Jorginho. It seems like Jorginho and Trossard are complete opposites. Jorginho, when he starts, looks like a force from the opening whistle. When Trossard starts, sometimes he gets lost a little bit in the middle of the park. Doesn't put in the shift that he does when he comes in. He seems to be better off. For me, he seems to be better off the bench. He provides that instant spark of offense after Martinelli has run his race, and that's probably, that looks like right now, currently, it looks like our strongest side. They're all playing so well together. Jorginho is always looking to make that pass to spring a forward. And him and Rice in the middle of the field just look, like they can just run it any day. So.
And that's the thing, we're playing Jorginho, of course. Obviously, it lets Declan Rice move him further forward, and he just looks even more amazing by each game. It still makes me laugh. We paid £105 million, and it's a bargain. Even £65 million for Havertz. I thought he was great again. He's really another one. I know he's just got better and better. He's really settled it. I think it helped. I think he probably enjoys living in London. I think he's obviously settled here. And yeah, like I said, he's just integrated beautifully. You can tell he gets on with all the players. And now he's popping up, and where, he could have scored another one at the start of the second half. And I don't know if you've seen Martinelli's reaction. The way he left out, yeah. We all felt like that probably, but he's getting in the positions, and more often than not, he's now scoring them, and I think he's got 6 league goals now. He's, our third highest goal scorer. Trossard's got 7, and Saka, even though people say, no, he's having a terrible season, 13 goals. Now, is it 20 goals and assists, I think he's got. I could talk for hours about how wonderful he is, but I think we all know, and, he's just a phenomenal player, and he's on course to possibly hit 20 goals. And I know we've all been saying, do we need a striker? And we probably do. But Jesus must be getting slightly worried, in my opinion, because he hasn't been missed. And I suppose that, again, that's a sign of a wonderful squad, because people are coming in and getting the job done. Was that 25 goals we scored? And was it 4 or 5 games?
Yeah.
And I think he scored one of them, Jesus. And, if he was fit for Monday night, would you free play him?
Brett,
see, that's the... Sorry, go on.
Did you say Jesus?
Yes, yeah. Gabriel Jesus. Would you start him if he's fit for Monday night?
Let me. No, I wouldn't. No. I would not. I would not. At this point, I would not mess with the lineup.
It's all right, Brett. He can't hear you. Don't worry. we won't tell him.
I think he might be first off the bench because he needs some time. Hopefully, within the first 60 minutes, we'll have this game dusted, and we'll be able to, get some bodies off, get some rest for some key players, and Jesus can get 20, 25, 30 minutes. But right now, I don't think anybody in the sidelines walks back in, and that includes Tomiyasu, that includes Jesus and Partey.
And Zinchenko. Kibio again. I think he's been a wonderful signing. He's had, they've eased him in centre half. It's on the right. He's looked wobbly every now and then, but considering he's not a fullback, and I have to say the last couple of games I think he's been absolutely superb. Got a goal which is brilliant for him, and I think another astute signing. Again, he seems to be, he doesn't moan when he doesn't play. You never hear him associated with him. Just seems a superb professional, and loving his life, another brilliant squad player. Again, Zinchenko, not really been missed. Will he come back in? Probably, because Arteta likes his experience. But it will be interesting, because obviously a couple of weeks till the Porto game. Will they come in? Everyone could be fit. It's fine that he gets to that stage, start of the season, everyone's fit, just when we want them to be.
It's a good problem.
And
yes, it is
very good problem. And on Jesus as well. It wasn't that long ago where when it was announced that Jesus was injured, the whole Arsenal fan base were kind of in meltdown because we were so reliant on him. And now here we are having a talk about whether he gets back into the team. It's like, as Brett says, it's a fantastic problem to have.
Not to mention Eddie Nketiah.
I
love a bit of penny for his faults. I mean, I think he might be off in the summer. He can't get a game. I don't know. Also, I can see lots of people are putting messages down the bottom, but for some reason I can't see them on my thing. I don't know if you can see them, Jonesy, if you can read them out. I'm not ignoring anybody. Thank you very much for everyone that is taking their time to make comments. It's very much appreciated. I'll
just do a few shout outs. So we've got G's in the building.
Oh, she is. Sorry, I'm not wearing my pink suit, G.
Kobe's here.
Kobe's on there. Go on, Kobe. What a man he is. Apparently, Kobe's had a very busy day. Loads of women today have been proposing to him because they can today. There you go. Go on,
Zoom
Kobe.
in the UK. It's the Arsenal podcast. Ryan is here as well.
Right.
I think Liam Cope as well said title winning squad with everyone fit. Yeah, you could agree.
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
So looking at the goals against Newcastle, it was a stranger one. It was some more set piece goals. First one was an own goal. You could say that, the amount of pressure we put in on Newcastle, in the box, and that we didn't see anything like the Porto game, where you're actually allowed to take a corner and use our set pieces. Just what's your thoughts on switching Declan Rice now to the corner kick taker? I know people have been quite vocal, and I know Saka's and Martinelli's corners haven't been great. They sometimes don't even beat the first man. But what a great tactical change, from the coaching staff to realise that Declan Rice can actually put it on someone's head.
All of a sudden, people want to put him in their teams now.
Yeah,
fantasy football because he's.
Ian, what do you make of that change in that?
Yeah, I think it's been a stroke of genius. Like when you think about the corners that Leo Trossard was swinging in, and like he wasn't beating the first man, and we were all going crazy. We were all pulling our hair out. Declan Rice just has that whip. Even the free kicks against West Ham that he swung in, he's just a very good dead ball specialist, and I think it was very wise of them to move him over. His talents are unlimited, I think, and I'm very happy that number one, Leo's not taking the corners anymore, and that Declan's taking them from that side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In yourself, Brett, what do you make of the change of having Rice on the corners? Would you get him to take both sides, or would you keep Saka as well doing on the left-hand side corners or the right?
That's that's a good question, because I was going to my second comment was going to be whether you guys are happy with Saka taking those corners. But Rice from the left-hand side has been an absolute game changer. He, it's every time he seems to find a head. Whether it's on goal or not, but he's finding those players in the box when we're allowed to take them, of course. Because if you want to talk about the officiating later in the Porto match, we can definitely talk about that. He's absolute game changer.
Get off your chest.
Go for it.
and you know what? And if he can use both feet equally well, I don't see a reason why not to put him on the right as well.
Mm.
I think we might be from the right, we might be missing Bukayo in the middle of the box. I think he's more than capable of getting open and getting at the end of a cross.
Yeah, and yourself, Brooksy, would you keep Saka there, or would you try, as Brett said?
I would. By all means try it, but Saka's corners aren't too bad. I mean, Martinelli's and Trossard's are bloody awful. But Saka whacks a good ball in. It's amazing that all of a sudden everyone knows who our set piece coach is now. Yeah, when there's ever been a thing, and you see after each goal, I don't know if you've seen the bench cam, Arteta and the other three, I can't remember the names. They're such a tight, nicely knit group, that they're all so in sync with each other. It's brilliant. I mean, Howie, the set pieces, it's just a corner at the end of the day, but all of a sudden we seem to be really good at them, which it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
To be fair,
To be fair.
And
Yeah,
I think as well, Saka, we like the in swinging corner rather than the out swinging corner. So I think it's balanced that Saka's swinging them in with his left foot, and Declan is swinging them in with his right. If you put Declan over the other side, more than likely you'll end up with out swinging corners. Now it wouldn't surprise me if Nicholas Jover came up with a set piece play that would suit us, but I think that's why it's for now, for balance, I think it's good for Saka to continue on the other side.
Yeah. So yeah, there was a couple of good goals in there. Was you guys surprised with how dull Newcastle were? They literally were just. Brooksy, yeah, you could speak.
I have a few Newcastle fans at work. Bizarrely, even though I'm based in Kent, I have 3 Newcastle United fans at work. Can you believe? Out of about 20 odd people. It's crazy. I mean, yeah, one of them's just we've got money. All of a sudden, he's a big football fan, you know. But yeah, they've been moaning for a while now, saying there's something not right. Obviously, they've had a lot of injuries. Well, they've run out of money all of a sudden, and they can't buy anyone. I think there's a few things going on with the likes of Trippier has been up to something he shouldn't be. Apparently, there's got rumours going up there, a bit of unrest. So yeah, it's a good time to play them. Obviously, you know, he's always injured.
Yeah.
You know, obviously the keeper situation. I mean, he's done well, but they're quite an unsettled team at the moment. So it's a good time to play them. You know, but yeah, I do think Eddie Howe might be out of a job sooner rather than later. The way it's going. I mean, they got Man City in the cup next, bless them. So they'll be going out of that, and then if they can try and get European football, but I think their bubbles burst for them slightly. So it was a good time to play them. I mean, they weren't hard into nothing, really. I think, I don't think they were really expecting much. They're not in the best of form. I mean, they scored 4 goals over Luton and couldn't beat them the other week, and they struggled against Bournemouth. So it was just a question of us turning up and giving them a good humping, which is what happened, thankfully.
Just a couple of hellos again. Quincy's in the house. American, fellow American. Yeah. It'd be good to have a show with just Americans on soon. Hopefully that could Quincy could do some hosting duties in the future.
There you go. Yeah, Newcastle does so.
Emma's in the chat as well. Yeah, loads of people on tonight.
That's good.
No Europa League. That's good. Not for us anymore.
No.
Thankful.
Thank God. Yeah, God.
But no, yeah, I don't like to talk about other teams, but Brett, where do you see Newcastle? Where the direction they're going? Do you think they need to get in a top class manager now? I know Eddie Howe's done a great job, but for the amount of money they've got to spend, well, they can't really do that anyway for financial fair play. But where do you see Newcastle? Where they're going?
Well, I mean, I for one was, this match was definitely a big one because it scared the heck out of me, wondering, if they were going to be. They seemed at St. James Park to be able to play us. They kind of unlocked the way we want to play, and they were able to blunt our attack. They had nothing from the first minute. It was shocking, actually. And Brooksy, you had said, that they're definitely going through some injuries. They're down to their third choice keeper, who actually played really well.
He's a good keeper.
But they showed no fight. They had no fight. Bruno even was, he wasn't even taking cheap shots. So, I mean, it was just a shocking performance. And yeah, I think I tweeted out right after the match that I think Eddie Howe is going to be looking for a new job pretty soon. After last year getting back in the Champions League, they proved that they didn't belong, or they proved that they weren't. Let me put it this way: they proved that they weren't ready for those European nights. They're in a crossroads. They can finish 10th, or they could finish 5th or 6th. Right now it looks like they're more likely to finish 10th.
Yeah. Yourself, Ian?
Yeah, it was a very tepid performance, and as Brett says, they kind of played a certain way at St. James's Park, but they also did the same at the Emirates last season. You remember the 0-0 last season, and it was a real. They just kind of stifled us. But bizarrely, despite all that, I was very confident going into this game, and I just, well, obviously we've been playing very, very well. I knew the players would be up because of what had happened at St James's Park, and they obviously have a lot of injuries as well. So I was always kind of comfortable. I won't say overconfident, but comfortable. But I was still very surprised with how poor Newcastle were. Now the argument is, as always, were Newcastle really poor, or were we really, really good? And the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. But yeah, I thought they were going to put up a little bit more of a fight. Like, I mean, Kieran Trippier was sitting on his arse after 12 minutes, needing a rest, like pretending that he was injured. You know, like that's not a good sign after 12 minutes. And those guys, those Newcastle players knew that they were going to get a thumping very early, very early.
Scored at the right time. He's got a nice early goal, and straight away they were like, "Oh, I don't know what we're going to do now. We're just going to sit behind the ball for 90 minutes. Now we actually have to go and attack." And I don't even remember Raya making one proper save. I mean, there might be one in the second half, but I don't remember them really doing anything. It was very nice. Hopefully more of the same for Monday.
Yeah. So Monday, it's strange to have a Monday game. We haven't had one for ages, have we?
No,
I can't remember the last time we had one, to be fair.
Sheffield United, Brooksy, how do you see this game going? It should, on paper, be a battering, shouldn't it? But
I've been
Arsenal fans for years. We know the story.
I mean, I'm old enough to remember. It's got to be. I dread to think how long ago it was now. I think we played them. I think it was a Monday night. We lost 1-0 up there. Neil Warnock was in charge of them. I think Chris Morgan, who was their captain at the time, a vile man, he punched Robin Van Persie in the side, didn't get sent off. I think was it Jagielka that scored? Something like that. But he ended up going in goal for something, and we lost to him. And I think, oh my goodness. But I can't. I'm touching a wooden table as I speak. But I just can't see anything else other than, a 5 or 6-0 again. And that seems very big-headed to say, maybe, but if you look at the stats and the figures don't lie, they are rubbish. There you go, that's the putting it. I mean, they're just dreadful. They haven't got anything at all over the pitch. I mean, Brighton stuffed them 5-0 at home the other day. I mean, I know they had players sent off. Not being funny, we're 2-3 times better than Brighton, so we could win 15-0. But yeah, no, I mean, you worry about complacency and Monday night if it's raining, or can we do it away, blah, blah, blah. But I think we're in that moment at the moment, had a week off as well, which can only help any little niggles. And you see them training the other day, Timber back in, Party back there. Surely we're going to give them a good thrashing. I mean, obviously, I know there'll be pressure. Man City at home to Man United Sunday afternoon, and you would expect them to smash them. I mean, you never know, Derby, but I would expect them to beat them. Liverpool, I don't know who Liverpool got this weekend. Anyone know?
Sure.
They're playing away to Forest, I think.
Oh, lovely. Yes, they are. Yes, 3:00 on Saturday, yeah. And you never know. You never know. Forest are a funny old side. You never know what you're going to get with them, really. But so they could drop points, possibly. I mean, Liverpool are doing very well because they've got a lot of injuries. Not that I want to give them any praise, but it would be, So if they both win, obviously there's added pressure, and obviously Carragher and Ratboy will be there on Monday. All rubbing their hands. Oh, come on, Sheffield United. So we just have to turn up, be professional. I mean, any win will do. I mean, if it's 1-0, it's 1-0. 3 points is all that matters. But, because the goal difference is very good at the moment, it's much better than Man City's, and it's better than Liverpool by a few. So, the more the better. But, yes, I don't expect anything else other than at least a 4-0 win. How about yourself, Brett? What are you going for?
I think so, too. I think Arteta has the pulse of the room. I think he's going to have the boys ready. He's not going to let them be looking forward. And I think right now we've got 2 clear goals in mind. I think the return leg against Porto, and then the league. And I don't see anything less than a 3-0 win to me would be slightly disappointing. 4-0, 5-0. I mean, it's crazy. But what Jonesy said, we're all Arsenal fans. We're all ready for the other shoe to drop. We didn't lose the league last year because of our top 6 form. We lost the league because we lost a bunch of games that we should never have lost. So, having said all that, I'll go 5-0.
Go on, I love that. Go on.
Yep.
How about yourself, Ian? What are you thinking?
Yeah, well, look, Sheffield United have conceded 5 goals in their last 3 home games. They got beaten 8-0 by Newcastle at home.
God, yeah, they did, didn't they? Hey, they're so bad.
Yeah, they've conceded they've conceded 5 goals or more in 6 different games this season, home and away. You're always a little bit fearful of being overconfident, and anything can happen. It could be an early red card or something silly. But if it goes to form, and as we hope it would, I can't see anything other than a big Arsenal win. I was joking the other day saying that I tweeted out saying that in our last 6 games we scored 2, 3, 4, 5 twice and 6 goals. So I'm going to be very stupid and go. I'm calling 7-0.
Go on, Sam.
All
I
right.
love that. I love that. It's normally me with the old crazy predictions. I get funny looks, but yeah, go on. I would love a 7 or 8-0, even a 9 or a 10. But get ahead of ourselves. But if now we lose 1-0, Ian, I'm going to come out of a Dublin and say,
yeah. Come back to me. It's me. Yeah. They've only won, just to finish off on their home form. They've only won 2 games there all season. They beat Wolves and they beat Brentford, I think, at home, and that's it. There are a few draws as well. They're one of the poorest Premier League teams ever, and I just hope we perform. If we play as we've played in our last kind of 5 or 6 games, it'll be an annihilation. I hope.
I was more concerned about Burnley when we played them. I thought we beat them, but to give them a good 5-0, was really pleasing. Last time we played, I think we only beat them 1-0.
Right.
So if you go on that basis, and Sheffield United are probably worse than Burnley, I think it should be a goal fest. But
we have to take control of the game early, like we've done in the last 5 or 6 games. And if we do that and set the tempo, it'll be a hiding, I think.
Yeah, I think Sparks put in the chat the last time we played on a Monday, I think it was Newcastle last year.
Was that the 0-0?
I think it was. Yeah,
or was that
the boring game. I think it was.
that was that a Monday. I don't think I think that was a Saturday. I don't think that was a Monday.
It was.
Was that a Monday?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
But I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like the fact that we're the chasing pack rather than the leading pack. I mean, I think it takes a lot of pressure off. I don't know if any of you guys saw Ben White's interview with Sky Sports today. First of all, what a great player! The way he talks, you can tell. I know he's not really.
He's had another super season.
Yeah, he's not really. He doesn't like football, does he? But he does it as a job. And he's very good at it. So, but yeah, he just said that the players take it day by day. It's just one game at a time, and I think that's going to help us this year. We obviously, no one likes to see what happened last year, but in a way, it could prove vital. They know the pain they went through last year and how to not throw it away. I think they were young and naive at times against
too much too soon possibly last season.
Southampton game, and even I don't want to mention the other game as well. But
experience now. You look at them now; they just look readied and primed. There is definitely you look into someone like your Ben Whites and that, and they're just it's seasoned. They know more what to expect this year. They know what's going to happen. It's a shame we're out of the FA Cup, but we've just got 2 competitions to go for now, and it's just about keeping everyone fit. Rob Holding isn't there now, so we can't worry about him away to Man City. God bless him. There seems to be replacements. Squad depth is better than it has been, so it's just got a confidence and wait and see. Obviously, it looks like now we're going to have another 19 day, but it's an 11-day break because of the Chelsea game now because they're in the cup. So
Yeah.
I think is it after the Porto game, the next game is Man City away, and they've got like 11 days or so rest, which could be wonderful
It's more.
news.
I think it's from the 12th. We play on the 12th, and then we don't play again until the 31st.
Yeah.
Or I think it's
19
19 days.
days.
Yeah, 19
Wow.
days.
Yeah.
God, that's going to be boring. My wife will be doing cartwheels.
Get them back over to Dubai, because whatever he did over there with them in Dubai, they come back firing. So take them on holiday again if that works.
You do wonder.
Yeah.
You do wonder.
I say that, Jonesy. Yeah, another return trip to Dubai upcoming. But I talk about the Chelsea match from yesterday because we will be there for Porto. We were hoping to be there for Chelsea as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we I let out an expletive in the 89th minute when Gallagher scored for Chelsea yesterday. That was gutting a little bit.
Yeah,
me too. I'm in the same boat, Brett. Now, obviously, I don't have to come as far. I booked flights for the Chelsea game.
No.
I didn't realize because it was announced. The way it works for us when we're coming over, the TV companies get their hands on the game,
awful,
and as soon as it's changed, we book flights because you have to be quick because the flights just go to crazy price. So we booked the flight straight away, not realizing that there was the possibility that Chelsea would be playing in the FA Cup that weekend. Now it's our own fault. And it's a lesson learned. But like you, Brett, when that goal went in the 89th minute, I was devastated because more than likely that game is going to be played midweek now, and more than likely we won't.
It'll be right at the end of the season as well, probably.
Yeah, there'll be extra fixtures. Plus the women's game, maybe Arsenal women were due to play Chelsea women on the Friday of that weekend, the 15th, and now that is in jeopardy because that'll be 2 days and 2 games in a row at Stamford Bridge on the 15th and 16th. So the women's game is in jeopardy that weekend as well. So it's not good.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys if you'd heard anything about that because Mackenzie and I were definitely if that game is going to be played, we'll go see the women play at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, no, nothing's been announced yet or anything like that. So as soon as it does, hopefully I'll post it and I'll let you know anyway. But I was all set.
Hopefully it's there.
I was all set. The 12th is my birthday, so the Porto game is my actual birthday. So they've never lost on my birthday, right? And they recorded they recorded their biggest ever win, the 12-0 against, was it Loughborough, with the record that Arsenal's got. So
yes,
so
Loughborough Town, the mighty Loughborough,
I'm hoping the tradition stays, and I'm double celebrating on my birthday. But I was looking forward to the Chelsea on the weekend for more celebrations. But obviously, them going through in the cup has fluffed that up. So so Sheffield United on Monday. It's I'm going to go for 7-0 as well. To be fair, I reckon we're gonna
It's going to come back and bite us in the arse, isn't
someone in the chat's going to clip this and put it on YouTube later. So that we've all predicted this, but
will be memes by the end of next week.
Yeah, it will. But yeah, Brett, I just wanted to ask you, mate, being as a fan from the US and that, what's your typical, so Monday, for instance, what would be your typical match day over in the US? Because obviously the time difference and everything like that. How does it work for you guys?
So if it's 8 o'clock over here, it'll be what, 1:30 over there?
1:30.
Yeah, it's so I believe, is it 2 o'clock? I think it's 2 o'clock here, which is 6 hours ahead of you guys.
So does that mean you're working or will you be skiving?
Well, I will probably be taking a long lunch break. Actually,
lovely.
With the impending move to Virginia, I am now not working at the moment, getting the house ready. So my day will be just staying busy in the morning, running some errands, making sure everything is all buttoned up, and then we have an Arsenal supporters club here in Northwest Arkansas. So I will probably, for that game, head to the bar about 1:30. And
how many people will be there?
Usually, for a weekday match, it's probably 10 to 15. For a weekend match, we were there for the Liverpool away fixture, and there was probably 35 or 40 people.
Cool.
We have a very very healthy. Actually, in Arkansas, it's not a big state, We have 2 different supporters groups.
Oh wow!
So
That's brilliant.
yeah. And then in Virginia, there's 3 or 4. There's one in DC. There's 2 in. There's one in Richmond, and there's also one in a further south. So we over here, like the mornings are great. I'll it's like that Friday night. If we have a Saturday match, that Friday night I go to bed. I'm already nervous. I don't have to set any alarms. I've got an absolute mental alarm in my head. Goes off at about 6 a.m. The pregame show comes on over here, and it's absolutely brilliant to watch.
So why Arsenal, Brett? What made you fall in love with the best team in the world?
Well, it's a great story, and it happened pretty organically. I grew up. I grew up as I played baseball. I played football, played basketball. Never played soccer. Always liked the sport. Once I became started watching indoor soccer. We had professional indoor soccer here in the States. Started going to games. Fell in love with the sport. But it wasn't until my daughter and we went to Disney World, and we were at Epcot Center, and she wanted a couple of souvenirs. Well, we walked into the Great Britain section of Epcot, and she saw the cannon. She saw the shirt with the cannon crest on it. So she made us buy that shirt, and of course I'd heard of Arsenal, but we grew up in the 70s and 80s watching Bundesliga. Soccer made in Germany came on Sunday mornings here. Well, just started watching with her. Jones, you met Mackenzie last year.
Yeah.
She when she decides a team is hers, she is just passionate and all. Yeah. And she actually, I think she might be in the chat here somewhere. She's probably watching. But she is. I mean, when it came time for me to choose a team, I mean, I'll be very honest with you. Chelsea kind of piqued my interest. I know. I'm never going to be.
Cut him off.
I know. No, and that wasn't going to work for her. She said, "Absolutely not, Dad. You're going to be an Arsenal fan." And I will tell you, the moment that I knew that this was my club is when that ball hit the back of the net from Arshavin against Barcelona in 2011.
I was very lucky to be in the stadium for that game.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
That was an absolute. I remember running around, not even knowing why fully yet how this club, but that ball went right into the net and right through my heart. It was absolutely incredible, and my fandom has just grown since then. And it's bordering on the obsessive now at the moment. My wife is very tolerant of my
They have to be.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of.
Sorry, I've gone on.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I just wanted to say a couple of shout outs to BX Gunner in the chat, and George Sullivan's here as well. Good old George.
There you go, George.
But no, it's just good to get to know you guys, because obviously it's your debuts tonight. So yourself as Ian as well. Brooksy asked Brett the question. I'll ask you the question as well. Why Arsenal?
Why Arsenal? Originally what happened was I was like 7, 8, 9 around that age, and I was starting to get into football. I started to play football on the road, and I asked all my siblings, who do you support? Like, who's your favorite team? And bizarrely, like I've 3 brothers. One of them said Man United, and I didn't know who these teams were. Didn't know what leagues they were in. Like I said, I'm really young, and one of my brothers was Man United. Another brother was Liverpool, and another brother was Arsenal. And I asked my mum, and my mum is from London originally, and she wasn't really into football. So I said, what football club were you near in London? And she lived in Clapham, so she was quite near Chelsea. And for no reason, I picked Arsenal. I like my brother, who was an Arsenal fan. He was kind of like my favorite brother at the time, and so I picked Arsenal. and like have not regretted any part of it since. And like one of my earliest memory of Arsenal is the '89 season. I remember sitting at home. I remember some games from that season, but I remember sitting at home watching the Michael Thomas goal go in, and I was in pajamas. I was a 9-year-old kid, and I ran out onto my road in Dublin screaming my head off. I'm sure the neighbours thought that, you know, the house was on fire or something. But yeah, that's and of course as well, there was some a good few Irish players playing for Arsenal as well.
It's always traditionally
that's
Arsenal being well supported in Ireland, didn't they? We've
Yeah,
always had
yeah,
Irish players.
Yeah, exactly. Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, and Aston Villa as well. Aston Villa are well supported. Yeah, because they had
I suppose like Paul
supported
McGrath
as-
and Andy Townsend, Steve Staunton. Yeah, of course.
Steve Staunton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, like they'd be on the lower end of the supporter scale, but you do find quite a few Aston Villa fans who are quite happy at the moment. But and there's a lot of Irish players in the Premier League. Not so much now, but our Irish players back in the old First Division, as it were. But that's where I got my love from.
Coincidentally, we got this little guy.
Yeah.
The same year in 2011, and his name is Gunner.
Hey.
Go on, that's amazing.
And you can bet why. And many mornings I'll take a picture of him, and he'll come out and watch matches with me. So, and I don't scare him too much.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a good boy.
If we look a little bit forward, I know I don't like to, but Brooksy, do you want to talk a bit about Porto and what do you expect? It's going to be a nervous night just because we know what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't got. Are you going? You're going, I presume, right? It's your birthday.
Yeah, I'll be there with George, bodyguard.
Yeah, well, because I was like £70 for a ticket. It's just ridiculous. I can't believe they've done this for this. Was it last 16? Yeah.
Last 16, yeah.
Yeah, you would have thought they might have. They're just out to make money, but I think that's outrageous. So I presume I won't go unless any tickets come up. I'll have a little look. But let's face it, the way we're going and playing, all of a sudden everyone wants to go, don't they? So, I mean, luckily the away goals rule doesn't count now.
Yeah.
And surely, touching fate, surely we're going to score. Just because of how many. They'll come and just do what they did in the first game, cheat, not play football, throw themselves around, just annoy us. I mean, the longer it stays 0-0, the more edgy. I mean, if we don't score in the first 20, 30 minutes, people are getting, edgy. I mean, so they'll come with a game plan, but I think we'll have our own plan. And I think the atmosphere, I presume we touched on it earlier, the atmosphere for the Newcastle game, I presume they'll throw everything at this because, well, in the day, we want to go through, so a little help like that. So the crowd will be well up for it. I think the players will. I think we'll win a scoreline, I don't know, 2-3-0, if not more. But, they're no mugs. I mean, if we do score early on, they're then going to have to come out and play as well. So, which could then play into our hands a bit more. But we're at home. We're the favourites, I just hope we don't have a Sporting Lisbon like we did last year. But I'm getting all twitchy now. I don't know why I'm doing all this, but get me all nervous again in a few weeks. I mean,
the nerves are already.
God knows I've been on this for a day. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's already kicked in. That ain't good. So try not to get too big-headed and wait for people to knock me down. But I fancy us to win. I'll say 3-0, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Cool. And Ian, do you think it's the case of, us getting the first goal and the floodgates open, or do you think it'll still be cagey after that? And like I said, I think BX Gunner just put it in the chat. Hopefully the ref lets us play our game, without a foul every 30 seconds.
Absolutely. Well, they'll come with a game plan.
Yeah, of course. Pepe.
Yeah, well, look, I think before the game, you're going to have a similar kind of show as to the Newcastle game. I think because there was a great atmosphere in Porto that would have given their players a lift. It's going to be a different referee, and I think the referee was a little bit influenced by where they were
overall,
and you can only hope. Yeah, you can only hope and assume that if we create a similar atmosphere at the Emirates, that the referee might be on our side a little bit. He may not, but I just think we've more than enough quality to deal with Porto. It will be cagey in parts. But I think we've more than enough to beat them. And if we do get that early goal, like the last 5-6 games, if we score early, we just grab hold of games and we smother and kill teams. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they scored. Although, to be fair, in their league form, they haven't scored many goals. They are very good defensively, but they don't score a ton. But I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up like 3-1 or 4-1 or something like that. I'm not saying that I'm I'm overconfident, because I am a little bit nervous about it. But I don't think it's I don't think we're going to get the same referee display or the same Porto display as we got in over there. I hope not.
And yourself, Brett, how do you see the game going?
I just, I don't like to talk about other teams as well, but I mean, I just thought that the entire match just felt like I needed a shower afterwards. Porto, they just played so shamefully. They played so cynically, and the referee just fell right into their hands. And I mean, I think there was a stat that the ball was only in play for 50 minutes and change, and I think that kind of took us aback. I don't think we expected them to play that cynically at home. So I think we're going to come out. I think we're going to be, they're going to have the same mindset they had in the Newcastle match, same mindset they had when we play Liverpool at home. They're going to go for it early, I think. And if we like Ian said, if and when we get that early goal, that first goal, it's going to force them to change what they're going to do. And I think we can get 2 or 3 more. I also agree that I think they'll nick one late, because we can't seem to keep a clean sheet at home. But by that time, I think the tie will be put to bed. I think 3-4. I think 3-1, 3-4-1 sounds good. Sounds about right.
Am I right in thinking the game before them is Brentford? Is that Brentford at home?
Yeah.
Which is Saturday at 5:30.
It is, yeah. I'm going over to that. That's the 9th, I think, of March. So and we're playing on the 12th. Yeah.
That'd be interesting to see what he does with the Brentford game. I mean, I don't know if you see Brentford the other day against West Ham, but they were dreadful. They're really poor. I mean, so you do wonder. I mean, obviously we have struggled against them at home, bizarrely, the last few seasons. I know we got screwed over last year with that. I can't be bothered to draw the lines. But, you lot think we won't need that this time round. But, again, it's another London derby. Again, I'm moaning, but we do get penalised being in London. And that goes for all the clubs, to be fair. London derbies are, they're tough. So, again, it'd be interesting team selection when it comes to that. Because he will have the Porto game in mind. And it would be lovely if we could go 3-0 up half time and then take everyone off, because I'm sure that's what he'll be hoping for, dream scenario. And then, of course, if everyone's fit, with Timber, obviously, I don't know if you see that in the other day, they had a training session at the Emirates, and he was there. He was training his first time, full training. When do we think we'll see him back? Any idea? Is there a time scale? I mean, no one thought he was going to be back this season. It's incredible. To the medical staff, to him, it's brilliant. It looks like he could be back playing within the next few weeks. I reckon they might have a couple of behind closed games. They do say, I think I see Saturday, we normally seem to play something like Watford or something in that 19-day gap. I'm sure there'll be a game or two, and you would think he would get minutes there. So, realistically, Ian, when do you think we'll see him back?
Well, today I was listening to, I don't know if you heard Arteta's press conference today. He said that he definitely won't be available for the Sheffield United game, but he didn't put a time scale on it. But usually when players come back into full training, it's normally 2-3 weeks. He was also asked about whether, because of that big gap, Arteta was asked, would he play? Are there plans for kind of behind closed doors games? And he said there wasn't, because I think he mentioned that there's an international break in around there as well. And that I don't know if it's in that gap now, but he said that the players will be playing international games, and they'll also be doing international football training as well. So he doesn't think there'll be a need for behind closed door games. So now he could be just saying that to throw people off the scent, but I wouldn't imagine if that is the case. I don't think we'll have any.
He might play for the under-21s. He'll probably get some minutes with them, I would have thought.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't expect to see him in the first team for at the very least 2 weeks. I think 3 weeks is probably even pushing it. You're probably looking at 3 to 4 weeks, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just a guess.
And when he's fully fit, do you think he goes straight back in?
I don't know. It's like the rest of, like we were saying at the start of the show, that at this moment in time, I don't think anybody goes straight back into the team. But it's just wonderful to have the likes of him and the other guys, but that will be back on the bench. Like maybe in a little while, I was looking at the I was in work today doing a bit of skiving, and I wrote down kind of the depth that we have for each position, and it's startling how good our squad is. Maybe in a little while I'll indulge us with what I wrote down, see if you agree with it. But like I don't think Timber will go straight into the team. He eventually will become a first teamer. It might be, I reckon, the start of next season. He'll start as first choice left back. But I just think for now, while he gains his fitness, he'll be a sub, I think.
It's crazy when you think he played all the way back in August, and he's only played like a game and a half, and everyone was like, he looked like I'd been there. He looked like I'd been there for ages, you know.
Yeah.
When the Man City game was good, you know, he played really well, and
the
sun was shining,
City,
and
really
all of a sudden he's on the floor, and it's like, oh no.
But yeah, no. Go on.
I agree. I agree with Ian that I think we need to temper our expectations with him. It's going to be hard. It's hard to come back from that devastating of an injury. Mm-hmm. You know, it sounds like he's a quick healer, but until he gets in a game situation and puts all that pressure on that knee, not even he knows what's going to happen. So I think he's going to get 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here, probably by the end of the season. If we're in a title chase on the final Sunday, and he's fully fit, I think he comes in. But I think next season's probably going to be when he resumes his spot with the club. He definitely will be with the first team and first choice. Yeah,
and the inevitable, you're 100% right, Brett, because when you come back, you have to be so careful. How often, when you come back from a long-term injury, do you get muscle injuries because you just haven't been using your muscles, at the elite level? And you're again 100% right. When it's one thing doing training, and training is intense, but it's nothing like a real match situation. And they will and should take their time with them.
Yes.
Yeah. So just an interesting. BX kind of put up something. Where do we see ESR and Fabio now coming into this team? I mean,
Fabio Vieira can come and clean my car. I sound terrible, but I couldn't care less. That's an awful thing to say, but
do you think these two players potentially be off in the summer?
I really worry about Smith Rowe. I was sat there running that run in the Saturday game. Brilliant. I was so desperate. There were times when he had a shot and they blocked it as well. Yeah. Everyone was so desperate for him to score and do well. But I don't know what's happened. I'd love to know. I still think there's something more to it than meets the eye. How he just disappeared out of favour. I know he's had lots of little injuries. I've heard rumours about his lifestyle and doing this and that.
Yeah.
But there's such a wonderful player in there. But I do think he's going to go in the summer because he just doesn't play enough, and he'll want to play. And I just think there's other players coming in that Arteta prefers, and he's never going to get ahead of Odegaard. Martinelli and Saka, Trossard, all above him on the wing. Havertz is now above him.
Yeah.
Even Jorginho. So, as much as I'd love to keep him, it's a financial game. He's young. If we do win the league and Champions League, and he scores the winning goal, I mean, we'll keep him. But if we do win the league, obviously he's title winning, Emil Smith Rowe, and that's an extra £20 million on top. And I presume they've got their targets, and sadly, he might be collateral damage. Fabio Vieira, I feel a bit mean now, but from what I've seen, he's very young, but again, he's like Smith Rowe. Who's he going to play in front of? I can't. I think it's very lightweight. I mean, I know he's had niggly injuries, but again, I don't see much of a future for him. But if he scores a winning goal in the Champions League final, I'll take him out for dinner.
Give him a statue.
I'll clean his car.
Yeah.
But no, Brett. I mean, there's a comment in the chat. Colonel Warder said, "Sell him for 40 million." That's to me, 40 million seems a bit cheap for the see the likes of some of these English players going for nowadays. Especially, he's still quite young as well. What would you do in the summer? Would you cash in on him? I mean, as Brooksy said, there's so many people now in his place, and you would think possibly we're going to strengthen there as well in the summer. That'll just push him probably a bit more down the pecking order. What would you do with him?
I mean, I agree with Brooksy that he's been gone for so long, that and he's been injured, so often that I just think that Arteta, has decided that he can't depend on him. So, I mean, he's a great kid. You could tell. I mean, I absolutely adore him. I mean, I think he's a terrific player when he's healthy. I was jumping out of my seat when that ball went in and then it got blocked. I was like, oh, that I was gutted for him, and you could just tell the entire club was just ready to pile on to him, if he had scored there. I just don't see a spot for him at the moment. I think he's fallen down the pecking order because of his his unavailability, and so yeah, I agree. Also, 40 million seems a little bit low. 40 million sounds like a squad player now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But if we can do some business, 55 to 60 million, I think don't sell him to Chelsea. Don't sell. No. But I think you make that move, to fund some other moves that will probably be needed. A new striker probably.
I could see him going somewhere like Newcastle or something like that. They got money.
There's an interesting comment here from Oz as well, saying the argument about his injury woes. Does the same apply for Partey, Jesus, and Tommy?
I completely agree. And Tommy Yesu, if you want to go there. As soon as they're not in the squad, I'll start having a go at them on Twitter. I'm one of them. But yeah, no, it is. And I think Brett said it is dependability. That's such a key thing now in football. I think they said, they touched upon it about Saka the other day, and they said, he's missed up one game out of so ridiculous. And they said, it's a player and he's so young, but it's a player you can rely on, and that's what football is now. It's a reliability factor. You want the best players to be playing every game.
Yeah.
You don't want, big game coming up. Jesus is missing again. He's got a fire problem. It's boring. It's just if you can't rely on him, well, sadly, you have to go.
And Ian, same with you. What's your thoughts on these, these injury-prone players? Do we ship them out and get in, like Brooksy says, more reliable players that will, like Declan Rice's and the Sakas? They will literally, if they get kicked or come off injured, they'll be fit and ready to go the next game.
Yeah, 100%. Like on ESR, I think against Newcastle, I thought he played very well. But I think we got about like a 5-second glimpse of why I think he won't stay at Arsenal is when the Willock goal. Yeah. He just completely stopped his run. And Mikel, he just let him drift through. And Mikel Arteta, that will drive him crazy. And I think kind of a little bit of you can get a smidge of his mentality there. Like, I know we're 4-0 up, of course, but I just think I think the writing is on the wall from. I would love to get 50, 60 million from. I think the only way we'd get that is if we sell him to another Premier League club. Even then, I think with the little football he's played and how injury prone he is, I think 50, 60 million might be fanciful, but you never know. But I do agree that the other players have to be treated in the same way. Like Partey, I think will be gone in the summer. I don't think Arteta will keep him purely because of his availability. And that's coming from somebody. I would say in all the years I've been going to see Arsenal, Thomas Partey is one of the best players I've ever seen live. I love Thomas Partey. When he's fully fit, he is a sensational player, but he's very rarely fully fit. So I do agree. And Jesus as well, like this team has to evolve. And the only way you can evolve is by kind of taking out the weaknesses. And that includes kind of just in general players who are weak as a player, but it also means moving on players who are weak in terms of their availability. So yeah, I think they should be treated with the same with the same talk as ESR. I do agree.
Cool. There's a question here. Do you guys think selling Willock was a mistake? And how have you rated your time at Newcastle? So who would like to take that one?
No.
Yeah.
Again, good player, but
Yeah.
not quite. I'd say Arsenal standard. That sounds a bit uppity, but yeah, he's a good player. Just not quite Arsenal level. Newcastle, he's done all right. But again, he's had injuries. He's had quite a few injuries, but he's a decent enough player. He's done well to still get playing for Newcastle because they've got money, and he's one of their better players, considering how much money they were spending on players. And he's done all right. Yeah, it's a decent lad, and he's got a good reception.
Yeah.
I think he's appreciative of what Arsenal have done for him. So good luck to him. But yeah, no, we haven't missed him at all.
No, for me, if Joe Willock was still in our squad, we'd be talking about him in the same way we're talking about Reece Nelson and Eddie Nketiah. That's the level he's at. I liked Joe Willock as a player, but we moved on from him. We've got much better players there, and I don't regret for 1 second letting Joe go. As good as a player as he is, I think if you put Eddie or Reece into a Newcastle team, they will probably do just about as well as Joe is, or maybe if you put them into something like Crystal Palace, they'd have similar kind of trajectories. But no, I think we've moved well beyond the likes of Joe Willock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, happy for him. Wish him luck in the future. Thank you for your service, and move on. Time to move on.
Yeah, no, definitely. Right. I think, Jones, are we going to call that a night? Because I know you've got another show coming up, and I don't need you tiring yourself out.
Yeah, a bit of a social media influencer. No, I wish, man. I wish I was getting paid, but no, unfortunately not.
Yeah, we'll speak to Liam about that.
Speak to Liam. Yeah, we need a payroll here, and some appearance fees for you guys as well. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for coming on. An absolute pleasure to meet both you, Brett and Ian. Thank you very much, Jonesy, for helping us out. Yeah. I think it went all right. Yeah, it did. Brilliant. Well done, Brooksy. I just want to say, stay if you want to stay around. We've got the Cannon and Jonesy show at 9 o'clock. It should be eventful.
I'll be in bed by then.
And also, there's a show Sunday as well that Bray's doing. It's all about the ticketing issues currently going on around the club. So if you're around for that, that'd be quite a hot topic.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
Thanks
have a lovely evening, one all. No, thank you very much for coming on. See you soon.
But yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing you, Jonesy, on your birthday. And
we'll see you soon. A few beers.
We're gonna hoist more than a couple.
Go on. Gonna hoist. Go on.
Look forward to it.
Put a face to the name. I'm gonna send some cannons pretty soon.
Yes, please do. Yes, anybody out there got any cannons that they spot? Send them in to me.
Yes,
you're always welcome.
Yeah, you guys just want to say your names on Twitter so people can follow you and that.
Sure. I'm at BurnKU on Twitter. I go by the loose cannon. I talk about American sports, but it's mainly an Arsenal Twitter. I try to stay away from politics as much as possible. But I have a lot of opinions, and I'm not afraid to express them.
Good man.
Yep.
Ian.
Yes, and my Twitter handle is @ArsCannonPicks, which sounds very dodgy when you first read it, but obviously it's designed for people out there who, if they're on holiday or if they see a cannon anywhere, if they're out for a walk with their dog, to take a picture, send it in, tell us where in the world it is. I've had cannons in from it's about 45 different countries from all over the world, and it's just a bit of fun. I also banter as many opposition fans as possible, and have a bit of crack with our own fans as well. Yeah, so that's me.
Wicked, and I'm sure you know where to find me and Brooksy.
Yeah, you can normally hear me before you see me.
Yeah. You'll definitely see him if you win the league at the end of the season. He'll be either naked by the Emirates or in a pink suit. So
I'll be getting set by Raw Mouth for doing my round in the nose. I don't care though. Be fine.
Just want to say thanks to everyone in the chat as well. Great comments in there. Zoom in, G, George, Colonel Ward. If I haven't named you, I'm sorry.
Kobe, don't forget Kobe.
And Kobe was here as well.
Yeah,
He's
ladies' man.
Ladies' man. Yeah, I think all that's left to say is bring on Sheffield United, guys. 7-0 thumping, eh?
Yeah, if not 8.
Let's go. Come on, you guys.
Go on, the Gooners. Go on.